Coming to you live from the fabulous MediaPlex in downtown Windsor, this is a St. Clair College journalism presentation.
I'm Aisha Coburn, and you're watching MediaPlex News Now. Last Saturday, St. Clair College held an open house perspective. Students had the opportunity to tour campuses, explore program options, and meet with faculty. Sean Preble reports from the MediaPlex.
Prospective students flocked to the St. Clair College MediaPlex Saturday for its fall open house. Students had a chance to learn about various programs and interact with both current students and staff at the school. Veronique Mendel, head of the Journalism and Public Relations programs, said the open house gives visitors a chance to learn from those who know the programs best.
I think the open houses at St. Clair College give prospective students an opportunity to come in and see what we do, how we do it, and I think just as importantly, it also gives them a chance to meet the professors and the students, because I think the students in the program are probably the best representatives that we have, even more so than the professors.
Andrea Parr, a student considering the journalism program, said after the open house, she'd recommend visiting the MediaPlex to anyone.
I think it would be awesome for anyone. I think I'm going to apply here. I think it would be just great for anyone to come out and just come look at it, because I think it would be great for everyone.
Travel and Tourism Director Debbie LaSelva says St. Clair College offers students opportunities no other college can provide.
St. Clair College offers a program with tourism called the Disney Academic Program, and there's no other college in Ontario that offers this same program. So if they were interested in going and living and working in Orlando for a semester, this is the college they'd have to come to. St. Clair is the only college that allows them to do that.
Kellyanne Sykes, who is considering the travel and tourism program, said she felt a real sense of community at the college.
Well, it's just a very open community that seems like very welcoming, so if you want a welcoming community, it's probably a good idea to come.
Media conversion student Alice Hewitt says the open house shows visitors how hands-on the school really is.
I think it gives students a chance to see just what we do here and how hands-on we really are. You know, we're not sitting in journalism labs just discussing journalism or just writing. You know, we have a radio show, a TV show, and we're really amazing here.
Public relations student Irma Tremblay says visitors should know St. Clair really helps prepare its students for the working world.
All the skills that you get to learn is awesome, and you're ready for the workplace right out of the program.
Mandel urges anyone with hesitations about attending St. Clair to pop by for a visit.
I think once you've spent some time with us, I don't think that you'd have any hesitation.
For more information on the programs the MediaPlex has to offer, you can visit their website at stclaircollege.ca or give them a call at 519-972-2727. Reporting for MediaPlex News Now, I'm Sean Preble.
It was an exciting day at the MediaPlex. Public relations students were pitching business ideas as part of their entrepreneurship class. Angel investors from WeTech Alliance were on hand to help by judging and challenging the students.
Helping young tech enthusiasts start and grow businesses locally, and it's great to see the MediaPlex take on entrepreneurship, although it doesn't really fit in the scope of necessary PR, but it's very important for students to think entrepreneurial and really be entrepreneurial in every aspect of their life.
Want to give the gift of love this Christmas? Jam Canada is holding its annual Red Bowl Christmas campaign. To feed an African child for a year, all it takes is a donation of $65. JAM is a registered Canadian charity. For more information or to make a donation, visit lr@wcf.ca or call 519-967-9600.
I'm Stacey Janzer, reporting from the corner of Victoria and University. It's pretty cold out, but at least it's not too windy. It's 1 degree out. It'll be -1 tonight. I'll be back a little later in the show with your 3-day forecast. Back to you, Aisha.
Thanks, Stacey. Hijab Awareness Day was recently held at the University of Windsor. Clara Muska has the story.
Hijab Awareness Day was held at the CAW Center on campus about a week ago. Organizers were answering people's questions and busting common myths and misconceptions about the hijab. The event aimed to educate about the practice of wearing a hijab and why it is important in Islam. Hanan Khaled, one of the organizers, believes that there are a lot of stereotypes about the hijab.
When we first started advertising this event, all these stereotypes came out, such as the hijab is a form of force, misogyny, it's a fashion statement, like stuff like that.
Khaled hopes to inform people about the real reasons behind the hijab.
It's a symbol of Islam and a symbol of modesty. It's our free will to choose if we want to wear the hijab or not. But it just comes naturally to us because we fall in love with it because of all the beautiful reasons that come behind it. And some people, like, I go back to the whole, like, oh, we're oppressed and we're trapped sort of thing. But the hijab is what liberates us from society's expectations. So that's how beautiful it is.
Akif Khan wants people to know the principles behind the hijab do not only apply to women.
When it comes to Islam, men first are commanded to be modest and then the women. So modesty is not something that's gender specific, like it's not gender specific, it's overall. So hijab is not just something like to cover up, that's one aspect of it. The other is how you behave, how you talk to people, your elders, your siblings, your family.
Hijab Awareness Day also informed people about the hijab's presence in other religious texts.
Some people think it's like just Islamic, part of Islamic culture, but in the reality, like, you could find it in the Bible, you could find it like in the Torah, like everywhere. So it's not just an Islamic culture thing.
Organizers also challenged people to try hijab for a day so they could experience it for themselves. For MediaPlex This Week, I'm Clara Muska.
Thoracic cancer surgery has returned to Windsor. Windsor Regional Hospital has been designated a Level 2 thoracic cancer center. Haley Trelout reports.
In late September, Windsor Regional Hospital CEO David Mouget received a letter threatening to close the thoracic cancer unit. The problem? Surgeons were not performing enough procedures here, just 50 per year. Local Liberal MPP Teresa Perusa made the voices of citizens heard trying to keep the unit open. After weeks of stress and worry, a single phone call Monday morning provided instant relief.
Having to go for radiation for 30 days, it only took about 20 minutes each day, but that would mean if I had to go somewhere else to London or far away, that means I would either have to find a hotel in London, or I would have to drive there every day.
The hospital has also been designated a Level 2 thoracic cancer treatment center, and no changes in funding will be made.
So every patient that comes to this facility to have that thoracic cancer surgery knows that we're a designated facility now, and as I stated, for the professionals who perform that procedure and are involved with the care of those patients know that there is stability for the program. And now the program can move forward.
With the doors to the thoracic cancer unit staying open, patients no longer have to worry about traveling to London for their treatment. Reporting for MediaPlex News This Week, I'm Haley Trelout.
In this edition of 5 Minutes With, Richard Riosa sits down with Carol Derbyshire, the Executive Director for the Hospice and the Windsor Essex County.
Hi, I'm Richard Riosa, and today I'm spending 5 minutes with Carol Derbyshire. Carol is the Executive Director of the Hospice of Windsor and Essex County. So Carol, why has the hospice chosen to build their satellite location in Leamington?
Well, we did quite an extensive strategic planning session a few years ago, and as part of our planning session, we interviewed people out in the county asking them what were their needs. And the number one need that they stated was they wanted a residential home out in the county that their families could access. Currently, they're having to drive 45 minutes an hour into Windsor to use our residential hospice.
What types of care will you be providing at the new facility?
Well, we will have 24/7 care. We'll have nurses and personal support workers there around the clock. We have a whole host of volunteers that provide cooking and gardening and cleaning, and they sit with patients when the families can't be there. So anything that we can do to add comfort to the patient, we will do.
Wait times have been identified as an issue with the hospice. What role does this new facility play in reducing those times?
Well, at our residential home in Windsor, we only have 8 beds, and it doesn't take long to fill them up. And as you said, we have a wait list constantly. Now, 40% of the patients that come into Windsor are from the county. So once we build a 10-bed facility in Leamington, that should free up some beds in Windsor and provide more space for Windsor residents.
How much money do you need to raise for this new facility?
We're going to raise $6 million. It's going to cost about $4 million for the facility itself, and then we'll have $2 million because the ministry supplies $96,000 a bed, which is basically the providing the care. All the other things that we need, food and supplies, we have to raise the money for that. So we're going to do 6 and have $2 million in a foundation for times when we need it.
When are you expecting the facility to open?
Well, we're aiming for October 1st of 2014. That's a pretty lofty goal, but we think we're going to hit that.
Will you be needing to recruit more volunteers?
Yes, as a matter of fact, tonight will be our first recruitment night out in Leamington. We have already 80 folks who are interested in taking the training program, but we will be going to the different communities, Essex and Harrow, providing an education session around our hospice and recruiting in the other communities as well over the next few weeks.
Thank you, Carol. I'm Richard Riosa, and we just spent 5 minutes with Carol Derbyshire.
Thank you.
One of our MediaPlex reporters, Alice Hewitt, worked with Crime Stoppers to produce this PSA.
Hi, Constable Ryan Burney here, Police Coordinator with Windsor and Essex County Crime Stoppers. I'm in front of G&G Jewelry Store, who were a victim of a break-and-enter which occurred on Wednesday, November 20th at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, 3 suspects used a blowtorch and took the hinges off the rear door and gained entry and stole numerous items, including earrings, necklaces, and pendants. There was blood located on scene, and police are still investigating it. So we do have a description of all 3 of these suspects. You can view the photos on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/crimesolve, or you can also view the photos of those individuals on our Twitter page, which is @CStoppers. So if anybody has information about the break and enter that occurred at G&G Jewelry Store on University Avenue East, please give Crime Stoppers a call at 258-8477. That's 258-TIPS, or you can leave a web tip at www.catchcrooks.com. Thank you very much.
I'm cozy here in this warm studio, but let's take a look back outside to see how weather expert Stacy Janzer is doing. Stacy?
Thanks, Aisha. Did you know 13 years ago, George W. Bush was certified the winner in the Florida presidential elections and thus winning him his seat in office? Now let's take a look at the weather. Wednesday will stay partly cloudy with a high of -2. Thursday the clouds remain, but the temperature will only reach a high of -1. Friday will also be partly cloudy and get up to 1 degree. Back to you in the toasty warm studio.
Thanks, Stacy. The University of Windsor recently held a 32-hour Land of the Dead event that gave gamers the opportunity to connect over online games.
Last weekend, esports gaming event hosted Land of the Dead at the University of Windsor. This brought avid gamers in the online community together to partake in the 32-hour event. CEO of EGE, Sean Burney, said he started his business in 2011 and has been growing in popularity since.
It's a great event, a lot of fun, especially meeting new people you don't often get to see face to face. A lot of these players meet each other online, and then they want to meet each other in person as well to put a face to the name that they see all the time. So we give them that opportunity.
EGE specializes in hosting private parties throughout southwestern Ontario, providing the gaming experience that gamers have been waiting for. Jared Griffith, engineering student at the University of Windsor, said his online game of choice is League of Legends.
It's one of the most common ones you'll see around here. That's what the biggest tournament is. And all around, it's a fun cooperative game, and at the same time, it's competitive, so it's pretty interesting.
2013's Land of the Dead party at the University of Windsor was a great success. For MediaPlex News Now, I'm Melissa Murphy.
In this segment of 5 Minutes With, Shanika Williams sits down with Windsor Express head coach Bill Jones.
Hi, I'm Shanika Williams, and today we'll be spending 5 minutes with Bill Jones. He's won the title Best American in the French Division League and is the head coach of the NBL Windsor Express basketball team. So last season was the first year the Express were introduced to the NBL, and you guys did make it to playoffs but lost in the semifinals. How did it feel to bring a team to the playoffs in their first year?
You know what, it was a great experience for us in terms of our team, our organization to be our inaugural season, to go ahead and play well enough to go to the playoffs and be a minute and 20 seconds away from going to the finals. So it's something that we're building on and looking forward to going beyond that this season.
Now, I did come to the home opener on Friday. It was an amazing game. It was like watching a completely different team play. What are some of the things you worked on during training camp and what you work on during practice?
Well, you know, the talent level has increased in terms of for our team. So our main focus this training camp in the beginning of the season was our defense, to play good fundamental defense, because we have talent in offensive players, so we're able to score the ball. So we just had to work fundamentally on defense, getting guys in the position and getting the style of play that we wanted to have on the defensive end.
For you, what does it mean to be a coach? What are the approaches that you take?
As a coach, for me, talking to my players, mentoring them, and giving back to the game. I played in the NBA, I played over in Europe, and to be able to give back, give my knowledge to my players, to give them the opportunity to try to reach their goals. You know, they're talented and they're fortunate enough to be able to play basketball, so to be able to let them know how to go ahead and approach that both on and off the basketball basketball court is a real pleasure for me to be able to give back.
And what is your greatest wish for the Windsor Express team?
Number one, to be a champion, you know, and everybody wants to be a champion, but to also bring awareness to the community, the things that we do to go out and help the kids, go out into the schools and promote good basketball here in the Windsor Essex County area. And that's something that we got to do as an organization and that we strive to do as a basketball team, to be able to put a good product out and have this community proud and something that they can call their own.
And what is something you hope to teach these guys non-basketball related?
How to be men. I mean, you know, when I was playing basketball, my coaches took time out to teach me how to be a man in terms of discipline, respecting others, and just having a routine and a focus. And that carries on in my day-to-day life, and that's what I'm trying to instill in my players in terms of the discipline, the being focused, and being positive, a role model for your family along with your community.
All right, thank you. I'm Shanika Williams, and we've just spent 5 minutes with Windsor Express head coach Bill Jones.
Steve Van Enne is the new coach for St. Clair College's varsity soccer team. Adam Elbaba has the story.
We have a great opportunity. Nobody can offer what St. Clair offers.
It's clear what Steve Van Enne wants.
We are here to win. I want a provincial championship, I want a national championship, and I want a European tour. Bottom line.
He didn't hesitate to outline his immediate goals.
Playoffs. Right away, playoffs. Next goal, provincial championship.
Alongside him was Gadir Sob, his assistant coach, whom he's worked with before.
Steve and I are both very, very excited, and I think that's what a program needs. You need a fresh, clean start. You need somebody who's going to come in and be really excited and passionate to coach.
Athletic coordinator Jay Schufelt says Van Enne's passion for the game stands out more than any other coach.
He's probably one of the top coaches in, if not Windsor Essex, in Southern Ontario, so we're very excited to have Steve on board.
St. Clair hires its coaches on a one-year contract, but Schufelt says this is a long-term change. Van Enne says his team won't disappoint.
It's going to be a very disciplined squad. It's going to be a disciplined program. It will be very organized. They will know what practices, how many we have, how many exhibition games. That will all be done months ahead of time.
The only people that seem more excited are the players themselves.
I want to see us make playoffs and make it somewhere instead of just being that team that everyone says, oh, we're playing St. Clair, like, okay, it's an easy win.
The indoor season starts mid-January, while the outdoor season begins in mid-August. And with Van Enne trying to secure extra gym time for practice, the women will be putting up quite the fight on the floor. Adam Obaba, MediaPlex News.
It was an epic win for the University of Windsor women's basketball team when they took on the Algoma Thunderbirds. Stacey Janzer reports from the court.
Basket after basket went in for Lancers last Friday night. The final score, 104-25 against the Algoma Thunderbirds. Jessica Clemencon broke a personal record that night, scoring 31 points, scoring more baskets than the Thunderbirds. Clemencon, originally from France, is in her last year with the Lancers.
Yeah, feels good, you know. I can't believe it's been 5 years already. It's exciting though. It's both exciting and sad. I wish I could stay a little bit longer, but at the same time I'm excited for what comes next.
Now, Clemencon is already beginning to plan for her future career.
I want to play professional for a few years in Europe, and then depending on how it goes, we'll see.
She's optimistic for the team when she's gone.
It would be nice to, you know, when I'm gone, to see the team winning still. You know, I think we've brought the program here, and it would be nice to see what they do next.
The coaching staff was happy with the win, and they know what an asset Clemencon is to the team.
Jess came here, even in the first year, Jess was a great scorer. I'm not sure that someone's going to pick up that many points a game. I doubt it, especially, you know, next year. But we can spread that around.
The team was happy with the crowd that gathered at the game.
I'm very thankful about the crowd, the way the community has adopted and come to really enjoy the women's basketball. I think it's fantastic, and we're enjoyable to watch, and I encourage anybody else that wants to come see a good show, come on out.
After winning last year's national championships in Regina, the Lancers are hosting the 2014 games this March. They hope to win the title at home and give Clemencon a great send-off. For MediaPlex News, I'm Stacey Janzer.
Kyle Simpkins took a trip stateside to find out just what keeps Detroit residents' spirits up when times are tough.
Detroit, the Motor City, Motown, the D, the automotive capital of the United States. Once a hotbed of industry, now this city is more like a hot mess. Highly publicized scandals from the mayor's office, including convictions of perjury, obstruction of justice, mail fraud, wire fraud, and racketeering, gave the face of Detroit another black eye. The strawberry on top? Former Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick was sentenced to 28 years behind bars for those political inadequacies. Then, there's the bankruptcy, and a state-appointed emergency manager who has been sent in to try and clean up this financial mess. With a dwindling population and corruption seemingly embedded in the city's government, what could possibly take the people's minds off all the bad news? Maybe...
Bruner, score! 3rd and 8, Stafford time, takes a shot for Calvin Johnson downfield. Megatron got it!
Fly ball, left field, way back in left and gone, a home run!
I traveled over to the mean streets of the D to ask the citizens of Detroit if the local sports teams take their minds off the many scandals ravaging the city.
I think it definitely takes our mind off of things when the Detroit teams are doing well, especially around the playoff time, as well as seeing some of our teams that have come a long way. It definitely reflects on the attitude of the city.
I myself would say actually do, keep my head positive.
The sports teams seem to bring people together, right? Everyone has like the Tigers jerseys or Lions jerseys or whatever, and it seems to bring people together. I think it does. Yeah.
They're doing good. I remember like 2006, they got back on their square and just people were pumped. I was actually in jail, and everybody there was watching, and there wasn't a sourpuss in the bunch.
So there you have it. Apparently, Detroit sports teams do serve as a distraction from the corruption within the city's government for its citizens. It seems that the teams, especially the ones that have had recent success like the Tigers, lift the spirits of people and give them something to cheer about, even when their city can barely keep the lights on. But what good does this serve? Maybe it's just a distraction that Detroit needs to weather the storm. For MediaPlex News, I'm Kyle Simpkins.
In this edition of Health Minute, Jolene Perrin explains what preventative measures can be taken to combat Alzheimer's.
According to Statistics Canada, between 2007 and 2008, 100,000 more people were diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So how can we prevent this disease from taking over? Well, how about taking that extra coffee break? A study in the Journal of Alzheimer's actually found that coffee increases the production of a growth hormone that helps create new neurons in the brain. Another way to prevent Alzheimer's is to stimulate your brain. You know that GPS that you use to navigate the grocery store? Well, get rid of it. Researchers from the McGill University in Canada found that people who use GPS navigation have decreased activity in the hippocampus, which is the area of the brain responsible for memory. If you don't use your hippocampus, you lose it, and this will create future memory problems such as dementia and Alzheimer's. Preventing Alzheimer's is as simple as drinking that cup of coffee and throwing your GPS out the window, so why not do it? I'm Jolene Perrin, and this has been Your Health Minute.
FOG recently held a book signing for Grant Lawrence. Reporter Joe Elliott was on the scene.
Canadian author and Vancouver CBC3 radio personality Grant Lawrence was at FOG last night for a signing of his new book, The Lonely End of the Rink, Confessions of a Reluctant Goalie. Grant's first book, Adventures in Solitude, What Not to Wear to a Nudist Potluck and Other Stories from Desolation Sound, was released in 2011 and won multiple nonfiction awards. Grant chose to come to Windsor specifically for his book signing because he wanted to do an event at FOG after presenting them with an award for Canada's Best Live Music Venue in 2009. In his book, Grant wrote about the issues of bullying and his personal struggle with bullies growing up in British Columbia.
The book is about my conflicted relationship with Canada's national sporting pastime of hockey. And I was sort of, as a young child, bullied out of the game. I was a runt. I wore glasses and knee braces, and there wasn't really a place for me in the game at that age. And the book is about me really coming to terms with our national sport over time and eventually learning to love it and actually play it as a goalie.
To entertain fans, Grant did a book reading with a slideshow and chose Windsor's Chrissy Cochran to perform with him. Fans of Grant's satellite radio show gathered at FOG to hear him speak and to buy his book. Windsorite Jay Santarosa has been a fan of Grant's for the last few years and was excited for him to be in Windsor.
I feel like I kind of know him in a small way just through his talent on the radio. So I just wanted to support what he's doing.
For MediaPlex News Now, I'm Joseph Elliott.
For all these stories and more, visit us on themediaplex.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at @_Mediaplex or through Facebook at MediaPlex Canada. I am Aisha Coburn, and you've been watching MediaPlex News Now.
MediaPlex News Now is a production of the St. Clair College Journalism Program.